Hello, good afternoon. I am Samantha Thompson, your new principal for the 2020-2021 school year. I am so honored to serve as your principal during these unprecedented times due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but I admire your flexibility for how you weather the storm and you continue to weather the storm even during this time that definitely need to be flexible. As we go through this first 9 weeks, students and parents, I'm looking forward to us doing the same work, but in a new way, in a new day. Congratulations to all of our Scotties for moving to your next grade levels, and we will keep our academic expectations high. I trust that you will uphold the same strong work ethic that you displayed last year as we go into this year. So, even though it's a new way of doing things, I'm still looking forward to great things. I do need you to master your standards and make sure you do everything your teachers have you to do. But most importantly, have fun while you're learning. So I expect more things coming from you, and we have a lot of digital surprises. So without further ado, I pass it over to our district's virtual learning coordinator, Miss Amanda Grage, and she's going to help us learn the expectations for this year's virtual platform.
Hi, parents. I'm Mrs. Grage. I am the person who's been sending out emails and who you are supposed to contact about signing up for virtual. I welcome y'all to this new year. We've been working really hard and will continue to work hard to set up your students for a successful virtual classroom and virtual experience. Of course, we ask that you be patient with us because this is very new to all of us, but we're working very hard to make sure that it works and it's a smooth transition for all of us. All right, I have a slideshow that I'm going to go through talking about how this might look. All right. Okay, we welcome y'all. Our platform is designed to help students work from home. Our virtual students will receive their instructions via our Google Classroom and Google Meets, which will be facilitated by a Thomasville City's school teacher. Our commitment is for 9 weeks. We're asking that you agree to this for the first 9 weeks, which will end around the beginning of November. And then if you feel like you still want to continue this, we can do another commitment for another 9 weeks. School for our virtual students will not begin until Tuesday, September 8th. Our expectations are that we want to be able to provide every student with the resources that he or she needs to be successful. This model requires that we have a parent or other adult that will serve as the learning coach, that will be there for support to help that student navigate where they need to be and when they need to be there. Some classes will require you to pick up additional resources, and your school and your teacher will help schedule those times when you can visit and pick up those materials. We'll let you know more about that as we get closer to the start of the school year and you start to meet your virtual teacher. Earlier this week, I sent out a commitment form. It was just for you to view. You didn't have to sign it then. We wanted you to understand what we were asking and what it's going to take for you and your student to be successful at home. After this meeting, I will be sending out the Google form for you to sign. It will be an electronic signature. Some of y'all have already signed and sent it back to me, and that's great. That's fine. You can also sign it and return it to your school. That's okay too. But we did set up a Google form for you to sign electronically, so that's easy for you to do. So this is what a typical day might look for your student who is in kindergarten and first grade, second grade. You will have a Thomasville City Schools teacher that will be strictly our virtual teacher for your student. So they will get your teacher's undivided attention. They won't have face-to-face students that they have to work with also. So they will be committed to all our online students, which is fantastic. I'm so excited we get to offer that. Students will be expected to be online every day, just as they would if they were coming to school. This is what your schedule might look like, but it could be different for kindergarten. It could be different for first grade. It could even be different between teachers. We just kind of wanted to give you an idea of the time frames that you might be expected to be, online every day learning. Ms. Thompson, do you have anything you want to add about our schedules?
For Scott Elementary grades 1 through 5, our students are changing classes. So as a virtual homeroom, you will follow the regular rotation for Scott Elementary. So you will specifically look at your teacher's schedule on his or her web page for Scott Elementary School. And in the event that you have extra our special teachers will have a Google Classroom as well. We will mainly use that as our platform, but the scheduling is specific. Now, kindergarten, you are self-contained. We do have a dedicated kindergarten teacher who's virtual. And of course, pre-K is another discussion. So pre-K parents, if you have a pre-Ker for our upper elementary, just stay tuned. More to come on that because we'll see you face to face. But our virtual students, please understand that you are still held responsible for following that rotational schedule. So more to come. It will be on our webpage. Thank you, Ms. Grage.
Thank you. Here is this, this could be a typical 3rd through 5th grade schedule again, and 2nd grade, I believe also. Just understand that you're going to have a different rotation, and there will be built-in times for breaks. So we don't expect your child to just be in front of a computer screen all day, but there will be scheduled breaks in there, and specials could be one of those breaks. This is our attendance policy. We do expect students to be online every school day. It's the same as if they were coming to school. It could be, there are ways we can take attendance. It could be in the form of a question of the day. So say your math teacher might have the question of the day that you have to answer at 8 o'clock in the morning or when you're supposed to be scheduled for math. And that's how your teacher knows that you are online at that point. Or it could be a live lesson and the instructor takes attendance while you're logged on. So it's important that your child is online every day, ready to learn. If you know that you're going to miss a day, it's important that you reach out to your teacher prior to missing that class so we can arrange and make sure that your student gets what they need. For grading, there will be assignments and grades given. I know in the spring it was a little different because we were all trying to learn and cope with how things were going at that point. But now, because students they were out at the end of last year, and because of when we're starting this year, it's important that they get assessed and we know where they are and what they need to learn to be successful for this school year. So we are going to be grading assignments and making sure that your child is learning what they're supposed to be learning. There is a late work policy, and that is in the student's handbook. So your teacher will let you know what that policy is, and if something's missing, your teacher will definitely reach out and make sure that you understand what you're supposed to be turning in, or your child is supposed to be turning in. So we're going to talk a little bit about what a Google Classroom might look like and what you can expect on your end. Students are expected to be engaged all day long. This could be lessons, this could be independent work and assignments, this could be specials such as your PE or your art. The same amount of time should be dedicated as your traditional face-to-face class time. Virtual lessons will include, but are not limited to, live class sessions or pre-recorded sessions. So it could be the teacher recorded a lesson prior to their scheduled time, but wants them to watch it then so that you can meet later, and if you have any questions, it's something that they can work on. So your teacher, of course, will let you know what each week looks like and when to expect to be logged on live and when to, to watch a pre-recorded lesson and when assignments are due. Our Google Classroom is a unique way of serving our students, and I know it can be difficult to navigate. So we do have a tutorial made for parents that we will post and we will put up so that you can watch. And of course, that first week of school, we hope our virtual teacher will be going through rules and procedures just as they would if they were with traditional face-to-face students. So you can expect your virtual teacher to log on that first day and help you learn how to navigate the Google Classroom and where to find information and things. So just be patient and know that it's coming, and we are there to help you and make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful. This is what a sample schedule for the week may look like. There's a calendar that you can look at that can show all the assignments that are due for that week and what your child has turned in and what they need to turn in. It will show you scheduled times for meetings. It could be individual meetings, it could be a small group, or it could be a whole class lesson. But your teacher will have all that ready at the beginning of the week so that you can plan out what the week will look like.
Miss Grage.
Yes, ma'am.
May I interject for just a moment? Parents, is also important, as she's mentioned, with the assignments and even with the schedule. As the teachers display their schedules, you may see some things, and if you try to click on it and you cannot access it, that is on purpose, because we want to chunk the work for our students and not overwhelm them. If they're here physically in the building, they would not be able to do all of the work in a unit at one time. So even though they're physically across town or around the corner from us, we definitely want to give a similitude of what instruction would be like during the day. And we do give bite-sized morsels of education. So we don't want a student to try to click on something he or she cannot. But more importantly, parents, we need to know what your child is able to do. So I definitely want you to support your students, your children, or your child, and let him work as independently as he can after he or she watches the video or go over it with the teacher. We want to make sure your child is ready for the current and next grade. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. All right, so we're going to talk about communication. So yes, your child has a virtual teacher, but your virtual teacher is responsible for all the students, the virtual students. So if you need to set up a time to meet with your teacher individually, they will be available for that. Please give our teachers anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to respond to your requests. They may be teaching, they may be meeting with other individual students. So just give our teachers time so that they can respond to you and answer any questions you may have. Our technology requirements are you do have to have internet access. You do have to have a device. We will be giving out Chromebooks if you do not have a device. Here are our scheduled times, and of course we'll be sending this out again and sharing it through our messaging systems, and I'm sure your teachers will let you know also, but there will be times for you to check out a Chromebook. If you already have a Chromebook checked out, you will not be allowed to have another one. We need to have that one back. We need to make sure it's updated and has everything on it that it needs, and then you can be reissued another device. All right, we've had some common questions, and I just kind of wanted to go over those. How will my child's IEP be accommodated? Your case manager will reach out to you and contact you about how your child's IEP will be handled. It will look a little differently than it did when they're face-to-face, but your child will get the service that they need to help them be successful at home. So just be on the lookout for your case manager to reach out to you about your child. How will the students get the services be accommodated virtually? Our gifted teachers will have their own Google Classrooms. So your child will be able to attend their Gates days online and be part of those activities. Some of those activities may be pre-recorded or they may be live, but your child will not miss out on the Gates experience. We have the questions of how can my child still be tested for gifted if we choose virtual school. There is an eligibility team that determines if your child is eligible, and those testing windows are September, January, and March through May. So once a student has been referred by this eligibility team, evaluations will take place. Most of them will be tried to be done virtually, but there may be something that has to be completed in person, and they will reach out to you and let you know. Will meals be available for our virtual students? And the answer is yes. We are still going to offer a weekly meal pickup for virtual students. We do need you to sign up in advance. This was on your commitment form. It gave you the link of where you can find that. And of course, we'll share that again and over again, and we'll post it up. But you have to sign up for your student to receive a meal kit. And then they will let you know when and where to pick those up on the designated days. If you have any other questions, Ms. Smith gave her phone number, and you're welcome to call her and ask her for more information. Here are some tips for creating a successful classroom at home. We do think it's important that you make a dedicated space in your house that's free from all kinds of distractions, whether it's TV or toys, just so that your child knows that when you walk into that space, it is time to learn. It's time to get to work. It helps your child, just as they would come to school, that their classroom is designed for them to be successful, to have a space like that in your house. It's important to keep a calendar of all the things going on that week. Again, your teacher will let you know the weekend, at the beginning of the week, what the week will look like. So it helps to have a calendar of events, just to kind of know when and where you're supposed to be. It's important to develop rules and routines. Get up, get dressed, brush your teeth, have breakfast, be ready to get on at 8 o'clock. Structuring your child's day like this just helps them to be more successful at home. We recommend that you follow your teacher's recommended daily schedule. Of course, we understand that things may come up and you might not be able to get on, but please make sure your teacher knows in advance if possible. We do encourage regular screen time breaks. Again, there's lunchtime, there could be a snack time. You know, you have your specials, which may be PE. We are going to ask them to go outside and get some exercise. So it's important to take breaks from the screen, and there could be independent work where they get to work on something by hand. It could be for art. They're supposed to draw something. So we don't want them on the computer from 8 to 3, but it is important that they take those breaks. We are going to offer some other resources. Your teachers will be giving those to you, and we'll be posting them up for things like AR, for online access to books, because we understand it's important that a child be able to pick out what they want to read, and we'll have more information on things like that as we get closer to the school year. Ms. Thompson, that's all I have. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
The only other thing, parents, is just to make sure you help us maintain our high expectations for learning. As I mentioned, we will have the schedules on the web page, but I definitely want to remind our students at home, although you're home, dress for success in our virtual learning modality. So please come before the camera, dress as if you're coming to school. We want to make sure everything is in good taste. And then also, parents, we will be monitoring our adjustment to different activities. So we definitely want our virtual students to know they will be a part, although they may not be able to, be on the campus at the same time. And in particular, as our student handbook is posted to our webpage real soon, you will see specific dates for activities where they're going to have to be adjusted because of our delayed school start, and in particular, our school picture day. So we will have a time for our virtual students to come and take school pictures for the beginning of the year. And so we'll have specific, a tight window parents just because of the availability of the adjustments of our vendor serving the South, where are we? West region of Georgia. And so just bear with us. But I thank you. The attitude that I have this year is just to be flexible, but we're being safe. I want to challenge you students to help us maintain the rigor in our high expectations for learning. So I'm looking forward to a great year.